It is not fair for the house that I watched the menu before it. The menu is just so great and a near perfect suspenseful thriller, if you ask me. And I guess every thriller has to be suspenseful. Does this make any sense? Um, I thought I'd ask you so you know what kind of thriller you're in for here. In case you did not see my video about the menu, I really enjoyed it. The house, well, first off, on the other hand, it's actually three short stories about a certain house. Actually, only the first one is with humans. The other two stories are with animals. I suppose those are fables, but that's a bit nitpicky. All three stories are stop motion made using filth dolls, and I mean you gotta give instant credit to stop motion and stop motion animation and stop motion animators. The fact that you can take a doll or an inanimate object, take a picture and move it a bit, and it looks like the inanimate object has life, has intention, has a will of its own. That's always just shy of black magic. But I don't remember the animation being particularly um, impressive or memorable, even for for the house. Like we're nowhere near the. I feel like Artman has a certain style, a certain coziness to it, and others have more finesse. Like if I remember, like a lot of characters is like standing or sitting. I just wanted to get that out there um, because I can't, hate on stop motion animation. It's such a tremendous labor, and I don't remember it being bad or taking away my attention when it's not working. So that is all there. That's all good. The house does not do itself any favor, as the first story is by far the worst one. I found it was downright bad. Uh, and again, even if it wasn't for the horrendous passive main protagonist, yes, the main protagonist of the first story is a little girl, so I can't blame her. A child, they can't make many decisions of their own or have poor understanding of what's going on. But there's a guy in the first movie that does know what's going on, and he's too busy crying um, or doing anything, let alone explain what's going on, to bring anything to the story. And the moronic parents are too stupid to see a trap that they're going in. I didn't like the first story. And to add insult to injury, the characters are all designed with that shrunken, shrunken in face. Or you might wanna. I think you might have seen it in some memes. Like the head is the same size, but then the eyes and mouth and nose is so small and squished together. Um, Kind of like how in cartoons they used to show when people, like when Tom and Jerry tasted lemon, that they would be like, really pinch up their face. This is what they look like normally in the first movie. So that's also becomes too difficult for me to take serious. The first story even has a poor ending with no satisfying conclusion because the first story is not about the girl or her experience. It's about the house, or at least so we know why the house was built. Uh, and the reason why the house is built is that there was a very rich guy that just wanted to pull some pranks or mess around with some people. And yeah, as I said, no conclusion, no character arc, just now there's a house. sort of in the magical way of saying everything's possible in this house. But it's actually only here, thinking about it, in the first movie that this house even does anything remotely magical or strange. And it's actually all explained because they see builders all the time saying, "Oh, we moved some rooms around." So yeah, first story is not so good. The second story about the house is more precisely what goes on inside the house, and it's pure tragedy, like textbook example of tragedy. Big dreams, little less competence is on display. I think if I give away more, would be to ruin the experience. And I'm thinking, is the second story an experience worth having? Um, it might seem that way coming from the first one, but I wouldn't go out and hunt it down. Um, yeah, you could just, yeah, it's tragedy. I don't want to give away too much. The third and last story about the house is also not about the house. There's not a lot of house in these stories told in the same house in a movie called The House. Does that make sense? It made sense when I wrote it down. Unfortunately, this story is best enjoyed not on its surface, but its implied narrative. So it's not really about an old house and rising water. It's about letting go and moving on and to learn to appreciate the people around you. That sort of stuff. That doesn't always work on me. I think it often doesn't work on me, and it definitely didn't work on me on the third story here. In general, I found the acting fairly decent. I mean, those quill puppets have like Bob Kiss for mouth movements, so it never becomes believable um, to me that this character is like speaking. I can just connect the noise to this puppet. In general, the house or the experience of the house, um, all three stories are far too surreal for that, anyways. That you're gonna have to believe, you know, that this puppet is talking. Overall, I found the house to be boring. Uh, I found it to be nonsensical, long-winded. I can't remember the last movie that I saw with such passive protagonist, and that it bothered me this much. Um, I can't recommend that you spend time on the house. The menu, absolutely, you should go watch the menu. The house, not so much. Not a recommendation. Thank you for stopping by today.